Setting records is an incredible thing, but to turn around and then break a record you set yourself the year before, well, that is not something you see often, except this week's SportsFource Champion, Austin Davis, did just that.
Anything more than 60. So if I get stuck at 61, I'll take it.
That was Austin Davis at the start of the 2026 season following his record-setting year in 2025. The center fielder, and to put it simply, the best base stealer in the American Association, reached that goal of 61 steals on August 12th in a road matchup against Fargo Moorhead.
Is not going to be in time.
Entering Wednesday night, Davis leads the league with 64 steals. He's been caught stealing just 5 times over the season for a percentage of 92.8%. But it's not just the extra base Davis can get that provides value to the Explorers.
But he's a dynamic player. He is a guy who's a game changer when he gets on the bases. And it's not just for stealing bases. It's for making guys get quick to the plate and getting better pitches for Vuletic, George, and Vasquez to hit because he's on base.
So, what's going through the best base runner in the American Association's mind before he steals a bag?
Really, I'm getting the time over there from Bobby, seeing how quick he is to the plate. And then at that is just having my mind focused on just stealing the bat, not worrying about him picking off, because if you're worrying about picking off, you're not going to get a good jump to get to second base. So just being aggressive and then trusting in your ability.
Well, the Explorers' single-season steals record is already Davis's 2 times over. He has his sights set on the American Association single-season steals record of 71 stolen bases. Entering the night at 64, that means in the chase, Davis has 19 games to steal 8 bags in order to etch his name in the American Association record books.
Yeah, odds are definitely on it. God willing, it's going to happen when it happens, so I'm not going to rush to get to it, but I am going to get to it. But it is in the back of my mind, but I can't worry about that. I'm just going to let it come to me.